Alright, fellow munchkin heads, I'm making this video right now on November 5th, 2013, and as you can see, it's 8:17 a.m. And my name is Leslie Williams. Now, I am going to act just a teeny bit comical this morning because I'm trying to keep my spirits up like I do on a daily basis. And in order for me to put a smile on your face, because this is in part a comical video, that's right. In order for me to put as big as a smile on your face as I possibly can by acting comical, I also have to dress the role. That's right. So check it out. I'm a conehead. Or you could say I'm a smurf. Anyways, my name is Leslie Williams. I'm in San Diego, California. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty soon switch from the comical posture to the informative posture, because that is actually the main purpose of this particular video. Now, I woke up late. I'm hiking in California. I'm saving for a mobile home, but there's a great probability that once I get enough money saved for this mobile home that I'll probably be leaving California, because California has not been a good experience for me pretty much every time I've lived here. But I will say this, is I'm a target victim and activist concerning a certain type of criminal expedition. That criminal expedition being named and termed as gang stalking, organized stalking, bada boom. Now, as a result of you seeing me acting comical and silly, understand there's two main purposes of the reason why I'm acting goofy and comical. One is to, and is equally as important as the second, is to put a smile on your face, but to also put me in a more light mood. Because being in a light mood helps me mentally. That's right. Because of the abuse that I experience in every aspect of my life. Now I'm going to start streaming into the important message of this video while I'm taking my allergy medicine and then lighting a smoky dew. And segueing into the informative part of this video, I have to make a cognitive reset, which means I have to go from one comical posture to a serious posture. So, you'll probably see the transition transpire once I start talking, because once I start talking about the informative details, there's nothing silly about the situation. Alright, now let me take my allergy medicine, because it's very important that I keep my tinnitus in check. My name is Leslie Williams, I'm in San Diego. Oh, one of the points I wanted to make, even though I'm being gang stalked on a feverish scale in every city in the county of San Diego, and even when I went to Yucca Valley for one entire week from this location on December 6th, 2012, all the way up to December 13th, 2012, was the day I came back, I was literally gang stalked in the same exact identical way in Yucca Valley that I've been gang stalked in San Diego County for the last year and a half. Almost 2 years, actually, in the same exact identical way. Because the perpetrators of this crime want to make sure that you realize that the harassment that's happening to you is the same. That way you can stay mentally attentive to the fact that the crime is happening to you. In other words, say if a bully came up to you on one day and hit you on this arm, okay, and he did it for 30 days in a row. Then you went to another city and somebody was just rude to you verbally, okay, you wouldn't make the connection, would you? Probably not. You'd probably say, boy, there's a lot of rude people in this area, okay, but you wouldn't make the connection because nobody's hitting you, okay. What the people are doing in the place you went to is that they're just being verbally rude to you, okay, so you wouldn't probably make the connection. But in these expeditions, they want to make sure that the targeted individual is always under the cognitive mindset. They want to basically frame the target's thinking for the day, everywhere they go, by repeating the same exact identical harassment everywhere the targeted individual goes. Just using different dupe dummies in the community to do it. Hang on. Alright, now it's very important that I take my allergy medicine. Oh, I want to make a statement here while I'm taking it, as soon as I can find my water bottle. Check it out. I found this water bottle at a bus stop the other day. Now, it was nobody else's water bottle that was still there, and I pretty much basically deduced that they probably weren't going to come back to get it. And if they did, I apologize, I took it. But since it was sitting at the bus stop all by itself, the point I'm trying to make is this. Check it out. And then watch this. You drink it like this, But when you go like that, it don't come out. That way, in the middle of the night when I gotta get up to get a drink of water, I don't have to... See, when you wake up in the morning, check it out. When you wake up in the middle of the night, like say to go to the bathroom, or you just roll over, maybe you rolled over rough, and you start waking up a little bit, you might get thirsty. So you grab this and you take a fast drink, which is nowhere near the amount of time it takes to open up this dang thing. And by the time you get this open, take the drink, put the lid back on, you're awake. Then it takes another half hour for you to get back to sleep. So this was a good find. Anyway, my name is Leslie Williams, and I'm in San Diego, California. I want to make a statement here concerning Nathan Fletcher. I just got done hearing on Coco about how he gave an interview, and I haven't heard the entire interview, so I don't know the context of why the subject matter was brought up. But I will say this. Meryl on Coco this morning, you know, it's like I got mixed feelings about that guy. For one, he's very old. He's too much of an old person to be acting as goofy as he does. But then again, look at me. I'm acting goofy, so I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. Radio personalities can be funny. But why am I being a little bit hard on Meryl? Well, because he said, well, you don't know. Nathan Fletcher was sharing about how he was abused as a child. And I heard part of the interview, and it was very touching. And then the voice of Meryl, the guy who's on Coco radio station, he started talking about how it's possible that Fletcher gave this testimony about him being abused as a child in order to get votes, like women's votes. I was very sad when I heard what happened to him, and I only heard a tidbit. Hold on. Now, the voice of Meryl said that basically all politicians at least are slimy, lying politicians. Or I don't know if he said lying. He said they're basically slimy politicians who will do anything to get a vote. But I don't know if that's the reason why this guy... I mean, you'd have to be pretty dang slimy to talk about how you were abused as a child just to get sympathy, to get votes. Instinctively and intuitively, I don't believe that. I don't believe he did it. I believe he opened up and shared his heart about some bad experiences during one of the most vulnerable times of his life, because when you're a child, you're extremely vulnerable. Nathan, I want to tell you something. Okay, and it doesn't mean I'm going to trust you, because if you're voted in mayor, I'm eventually going to approach you about what's happening to me. And my other fellow targeted individuals like Maraj Shahan, Bonnie in Oceanside, Brian 2, Sylvia L. Morales, and a numerous host of other ones. Hold on. I gotta wipe my eyeballs. Allergies, you know. So you might think to yourself, why is she going to smoke a cigarette if she's got allergies? Because I'm a butthead at times, that's why. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is this. Now here I'm going to segue into the informative part of this video. So I'm going to change my my verbal tone and my posture, my mental posture, because it's apropos to do so. Nathan, I'm going to tell you something. I'm a victim of child abuse as well. My child abuse, though, extended all the way up through my young adult years, and then when I got married, my ex-husband was physically and mentally abusive as well. And then once I left him, I experienced numerous episodes of homelessness because my parents were still dysfunctional. That's right. That's right. Then I stumbled across. Then I had one of those brief periods where everything was okay. I found a good job, had an apartment and everything, and then some wild animals infiltrated my life through respectable environments like churches. That's right. And I found out later they were directly connected to gang stalking. That's right. And that was basically done to make sure that I remained isolated in their group. So once they walked away, over years, see, they basically stayed in my life 4 years to get me to trust them, depend on them, and so on and so forth. And as a result, I was not forming any other social relationships. Then when I just started noticing some behavior that was directly in contrast to what they were advertising, I thought to myself, this is not the kind of people I want to hang around with. So I started letting go of them, and then the gang stalking started. Gang stalking is happening in every state in the United States, and organized stalking, gang stalking targets, have every aspect of their lives totally and completely destroyed. So, Nathan, when you talk about your child abuse, I am glad to hear that a victim of child abuse was able to rise above and still make something out of his life, which I have been trying to do. My entire adult life. Now, hold on. I don't have the victim mentality, though. No, I don't. And I'm going to tell you why I don't. Hold on a second. As strange as it sounds, and this is definitely going to sound strange, in a way, I'm glad I went through what I went through. And I'm going to tell you why. Because what I have discovered over time has led me to believe, or at least strongly suspect, look, there are certain, I don't want to get off into a sub-issue, okay, but there are certain things that are connected to the perpetrators in reference to, I'll just make a fast statement concerning it. There are certain technological resources that organized stalking and gang stalking expeditions, the perpetrators have in their possession, which can basically influence a targeted individual. So, I'm glad I discovered this, because it's been able to well, but just put it to you this way. I gotta say this cleverly, because the perpetrators engage in cyber surveillance, which means they do monitor targeted individuals' videos. And they will use anything a targeted individual says against them in order to further victimize the target. That's right. That's right. And to try to complete the original motivation they had for a target. So I have to basically stop right there in my tracks concerning that sub-issue. But eventually, if I ever find the right platform and the freedom to basically expand on that sub-issue, I will. So, Nathan, you know, in a strange inverted way, I'm kind of glad that this problem is occurring in my life, because it's led me down a road. Excuse me for a second. It's led me down a road, even though I have literally lost my ability to have children directly because of these criminalities. And I'm here today to tell you, fellow American citizens, this might sound like I have a grudge against the San Diego police. I don't, because I'm actually grateful. See, I'm Christian, and so when you get to be a mature Christian, you start to understand that your life has purpose in reference to why you were born. Okay? Now, you don't, what I'm trying to say is basically, I am glad that I know what I know, because it gives me the opportunity to expose what I know. So, fellow American citizens, and in fact, really just even citizens in any other country as well, can make informed decisions for themselves concerning what is literally going on right underneath the nose, okay, of community members concerning what's going on in their communities. Now, I don't talk very well sometimes, especially when I feel pressured to say a lot in one 29-minute video. Hold on a second. But the point I'm trying to make is this. I'm not glad about what I went through as far as the actual experiences, but because of the experiences, it has brought me to a place, like a milestone in my life, that has enabled me to reflect back on my life to see why things were happening. Okay, hold on a second. And I'm not just talking about, whoa! These squirrels are fighting. One literally just came this close to the mouth of my tent. Anyways, well, they played, the birds and the squirrels here, I ran into a poison ivy bush the other day, so I got some itching going on. And that was because I got to move from where I'm at. But let me try and stay on track here. Just bear with me. The point I'm trying to make is that I have no right to keep to myself what I know, okay? Because you would not believe what I know, okay? And I'm not the only one who's saying it. There are literally heroes out there. You can consider me a Paula Revere instead of a Paul Revere. You can literally consider me as a Paula Revere. And the reason why I make that statement is because what I know is literally more than likely, and I'm not the only one saying it. I'm talking about people that got PhDs, people that are extremely educated and seasoned targets themselves, who have done in-depth research at the doctorate level. We're all saying the same exact thing because of what we know. And what we know, we spit out in our videos. Okay, we have to do it cleverly. But I'm here today to tell you, fellow American citizens, and even citizens worldwide, because these expeditions are going on worldwide. Gang stalking and organized stalking is not stalking by gangs. It's basically organized crime in the system. at the federal, state, and local level, and there are some military technological resources that have been filtered down to these organized crime syndicates, and they are using them for the most heinous atrocities that your mind can conceive and cannot conceive. And this is why I do what I do. Now, I did mention briefly Nathan Fletcher, and it definitely sounds like, from what I heard just for a brief moment on the radio today, that he was an abused child, because you could tell it in his voice. Either that or he's a damn good actor. Excuse my language. Hang on a second. Do you have any idea, you might, if you research these crimes, what happens to the children of targets? The situation you see me in right now was directly connected to the perpetrators creating this decision by stealing my rent that was certified mail return receipt. That's right. I finally gave up on renting apartments because I had been gang stalked at least to the last 4. That's right. Now, I've already made other videos that describe how you can do research in reference to how the homelessness is created by the perpetrators. And if you look at my videos, you'll be able to see the descriptions that will lead you to statements, the descriptive statements, and then you can take those descriptive statements and research what I state. And you'll see that the descriptions will lead you to what to investigate. Basically what I'm saying is, if you just look at my videos, you'll be able to see that what I'm telling you is the truth concerning how homelessness is created. I'm a little tongue-tied this morning. But what I'm trying to say is this. Now, I have undisputable proof that I'm a target of this crime. Even this crime literally happening around me, inside of, but not limited to, at all. Multiple businesses, multiple universities, multiple libraries, multiple transportation routes, even inside the San Diego Police Department headquarters, and inside of the San Diego Police, and inside the San Diego City Council meeting chambers on August 24th, 2013. Within 10 days of that, well, within about 2.5 weeks, because the perpetrators don't want to make it look like anything that's happening to me is happening in a concentrated fashion, because then it will be totally obvious. Especially, like, if I catch evidence, like, say if I catch evidence, which I did, at the San Diego City Council meeting chambers on August 24th, 2013, the day Filner resigned. That's why I was in the chambers, but I made a mistake and went downstairs and had a cigarette, and then they wouldn't allow me to come back up. I went down to have a cigarette once they convened to go in the back to discuss possibly what they were going to do with Filner. I went downstairs to have a cigarette, and then they wouldn't let me come back up. And then when they reconvened the city council, Mayor Filner came out and he resigned. That was on that date. I caught gang stalking happening towards me in the San Diego City Council meeting chamber room, where I was sitting with multiple reporters in the front row on video and audio. I took that video card out of my video camera, put it in my computer at UCSD, and uploaded those videos. And before I could take the memory card out of the computer, every single one of those video files were erased off the video card by a third party who hacked into my computer. And that's right. Now, fellow American citizens, fellow San Diegoans, fellow Californians, fellow La Jollans, I don't lie. And videotapes and audio files do not lie. Understand. It is my goal and my intent to prove, well, let me just put it to you this way. That occurred on August 24th, 2013, and within a week and a half, an individual approached me at a place I went to hike at. I was going to move from this area because I was being harassed at this area by some homeless skanks they set up 200 feet away, who are probably being paid off, okay, by community resources that innocent community members donate to, like food banks, Salvation Army, you name it. And these kinds of resources, San Diego police officers have in their possession, because when they run across a homeless person, they might ask them what's going on, why you're homeless, and this and that. And they'll say, well, I'm down and out because I lost my job or whatever. And certain San Diego police officers do know, they are aware of the resources that homeless people can. Let me just put it to you this way. I have undisputable proof that organized gang stalking has occurred towards me in my presence because of San Diego police officers. Now, I literally lost my ability to have children because of an event that a San Diego police officer and a dispatch personnel individual, or somebody who had access to her radio, in reference to an event that happened between me and a San Diego police officer in 2006. It was an event that was staged in order to influence me to go back to Michigan. That's right, and you would not believe what happened to me in Michigan. You just would not believe it. It's literally almost unimaginable and undescribable. The San Diego police know they were involved in that event. They know they were. And then when I came back out here on August 8, 2011, the gang stalking even was happening towards me on the Greyhound bus coming to here, and it has happened to me every single day, everywhere I went, for the whole time duration of each place I went to once I got there. Basically what I'm saying, like everywhere I go, I'm literally harassed through clever, overt means, sensitization methods along all my routes. The harassment that was caught in the San Diego Police Department headquarters is the same exact identical harassment that was caught in the San Diego City Council meeting chambers. And it's the same exact harassment that I've caught at UCSD, SDSU, USD, Ralph's grocery stores, and other businesses. Now the San Diego police know what they did in 2006. You better be damn sure they know what they did. And they'll lie about it up and down the road and call me crazy concerning it. You better believe they will. Or they'll label me as being some kind of social deviant. Sorry, the allergy medicine is kind of coming up. Organized people who are involved in organized gang stalking label the targeted individual as being either mentally ill, crazy, delusional, bipolar, schizophrenic, schizoaffective, persecutory delusional disorders, anything that they can put on a label a targeted individual as being concerning how they can label them as being mentally ill, they will do. They will also call a target a threat to themselves or others. I'm looking at my squirrels right now. Or they will try and label the target as being a criminal somehow. I'm not none of them. I'm just literally your average person, just like you. Unless you're a criminal, then I'm not like you. But what I'm trying to say is that, and actually, I saw this video, which I got distracted, so I'm going to go fly right into it right now. The reason I'm a little bit distracted is because when you start talking about one thing, that one thing has got sub-issues. In order to be able to kind of bring more of an understanding to that original issue, and then the sub-issue comes out, the details. Sometimes you got to explain the details of the details in order to be able to create an understanding in the viewer's mind about what I'm talking about. And that takes time. So I'm going to fly right into the purpose of the reason why I'm making this video. Within a week and a half, barely a week and a half, maybe very close to 2 weeks of me attending that city council meeting over at on August 23rd in San Diego, and catching gang stalking flat out happening, I believe that it's extremely possible, once I moved from this area to another place for 2 days, they literally staged the property owner to, I believe it's very possible that they staged the property owner to appear at the scene within 30 minutes of once I got there. Now, why do you think they did that? In organized stalking, if they did that, in organized stalking, well, let me just put it to you this way, I'm gang stalked at this hiking area like you would not believe. And once I start making videos about where I went on September 7th and 8th, it was either 7th and 8th or 8th and 9th. Once I start making videos about that event, which I will do once I move from here, you will understand, you'll have a more holistic understanding concerning the facts of what happened. Just trust me, until I can make those videos, then you'll thoroughly understand what I do. The point I'm trying to make is this: they create the homelessness of a target, and then have them gang stalked everywhere they go, to multiple apartments, multiple motel rooms. The target just gives up and says, well, screw this, I'm going to go hiking. That the targeted individual is still being gang stalked in between everywhere they go. Not just where they live, but everywhere they go. I'm gang stalked at this hiking area, and have been for the last year, was gang stalked at the last hiking area. Let me give you a point. Hang on a second. In 2012, when I was at another hiking area, 40 miles away, I was making videos saying that individuals were walking by on a sidewalk, because at my last hiking area, I was hiking about 15 feet off a sidewalk down a hill. Okay? You had to literally walk up the hill to get out of the hiking area. And I was making videos back in 2012 that individuals were walking by on the sidewalk and saying gang stalking, along with how MTS employees were driving up and parking their small miniature buses right at the entrance and exit of that hiking area, getting out of their bus and saying gang stalking as they were talking on their cell phone. I made videos about it. Now, I come all the way out here, 40 miles away from that location, and have caught on over at least 500 separate audio files, gang stalking being set around me everywhere I go, in specific ways. Including at the San Diego City Council meeting chambers on August 24th, 2013, and inside the San Diego Police Department headquarters on July 24, 2013. It happening in the same exact identical way. I've caught it inside the Hall of Justice on numerous occasions. I've caught it everywhere I go, being said in the same exact identical way. That identical way is as follows: gangstalk, gangstalk, gangstalker, gangstalk, oh my god, gangstalk, gangstalker, oh my god, gangstalker, oh my god, gangstalk, gangstalker, oh my god, gangstalk, gangstalker, oh my god. Being said around me in that literal way, sprinkled with other words like weird and crazy. Okay, that's done to mentally remind the target that they're being stalked by literally getting around the target and repeating the name of the crime that's happening to them in that way, in order to play mental ping pong with them, because they hear it, they think about it, then it's quiet for a few seconds, and then they say it again. It's mental ping pong, where they're basically competing for the targeted individual's mental attention in order to keep them in a neural mental loop that they're a victim of a criminality. That's right. That's right. So one of the ways that they make sure that a targeted individual is never legally prepared to file lawsuits or anything like that is to approach them at their hiking areas and tell them that they gotta move, to tie them up in the business of moving. That's right. Hold on a second. That was the purpose of this video. They create the homelessness. They trespass and invade in every aspect of our lives. Our email accounts, our phones are hacked. We're gang-stalked and harassed through clever means along all of our routes every single day. And then if we start collecting evidence that they're even stupid enough to give me, because I wear a tape recorder on me every day. That's how the harassment was caught, and on video as well. Now they see that I was uploading this proof to the internet because cyber surveillance is a method of gang stalking. So they started saying to themselves, well, we're using businesses, we're using universities, we're using transportation services to aid and abet in the harassment, which proves the stalking since I got the evidence of it. So I start preparing things to go to lawyers by writing letters in my email account on computers. They see it through cyber surveillance, so what they then start doing is staging events to make it appear that where I'm hiking at, the property owner has a legal appearing reason to know where I'm hiking at, so he can tell me to move, which ties me up in the financial cost of moving and the busyness of moving. And I believe that it's very possible that that's why they did, within a week and a half of me catching gang stalking inside the San Diego City Council chambers. Is that why a property owner all of a sudden knows where I'm at within 30 minutes of me moving there? And check it out. In closing, the excuse that property owner used for being in the area where I was trying to set up a hiking area at, he said he was down there watering plants. It's the same exact literal excuse to a T. To a T that the person used to approach me at my campsite in 2006. I left that campsite, walked up about a block and a half, set up another one, and then the next morning the San Diego police came and pulled that event in 2006. It was the same exact identical excuse. That guy who approached me in 2006 when I was sleeping in my tent because I had a migraine, it was early in the morning, he banged on my tent and said, "You got to get out of here, I'm going to call the police because I want to water my plants." I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. If you know what I know, if you knew the evidence I got, it's literally indisputable. Alright, I got to go. Gang stalking is directly connected to, but not limited to, human trafficking. And I'm making this video, and I showed you a video picture of my cell phone on this date, November 5th, 2013. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.